Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. It's been a long day for me. It's been a real short day for you. What I did was I've spent a good portion of the day heading up north. Had to go up to see my buddy Gino up at Trimcraft Aviation, get some screws, get some hardware, because it's time to start attaching stuff. Today was the day working on the elevator. Didn't really want to bore you to death because it's been probably about 5 hours of work and you're going to see very little done, but I had to make some adjustments. Had to make little brackets, which you've already seen that, the little clevises. So here's I'm going to set this up in the stand once I get this initial part done, because you know how much I love talking. Here's the little clevises in action. What I ended up doing was, because these were tapped out to 440, and I was using 440 rod into the Sullivan golden rods. I mean, if it worked before, it's going to work again. I just had to make one little change and I haven't locked it in, but you're going to see that very shortly. But anyway, I went with regular rolled aluminum. I don't know what it is. It's the tubing you can get at Home Depot, Menards, Ace Hardware, you know, 1/4 inch. So anyway, yeah, so those were made. These are 440s, and if I've got another one, yeah, here we go. And what I had to do is I had to get really long 440s. This is what I wanted to go see Gino at, because I needed something with a shoulder. So that way what I'm doing is, when this is going through the control rod, or the horn, it's not the threads, it's the shoulder. So I had to do that and shorten them. This is going to be shortened a little bit, but I had to go in and kind of hog out. You see where it goes into the fuselage. I had to hog that out a little bit. This will be shortened a little bit more, probably another 1/8 inch off when I put a locking nut on there. Right now, I just decided to leave them on the long side, and then I could just, you know, grind off whatever I need to later on. So anyway, here is the throw. Let me get this set up in a location where you can see, because this I've got to attach it somewhere. He had it up over the top. It was binding in the back. It was binding here. So I'm going to bring this in lower, and I'll make a little cross beam, little X cross below here, or I'll do what the guy did here. Probably be a little X cross beam here. I'll probably do another X cross up on the top just to add rigidity to the structure. It doesn't need to be made out of spruce. It can be made out of 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch balsa strips, and that's what it's going to be made out of, because it just needs to kind of hold these in place. It doesn't need to really add support. But anyway, let's get you back here in the stand, and just because you guys probably want to see it more than me, let me lower the stand. All right, I got that down lower. So here's about what we're going to have. This is all set up pretty much on 0. This is what I can get for up, full up, which is awesome. And that's what I can get for full down. So I've got complete throw. I got good throw on that. So although you're never going to see this plane with this much up in a loop, it's probably, a lot of times I just use this for when I'm coming in for a landing and I'm touching down for the final flare out, just to slow it down, and for taxiing. Most of the time when I'm flying this thing, you're going to see maybe about this much. It would be the max throw on it, but you always got to have more. Some of the other things I did today, because this is going to be, sorry about that, it's going to be kind of a two-day video. So this is just part of day 1. I got tomorrow off too, but it's supposed to be a nice day, so I'm probably going to go up and do a little bit of flying about midday. So I'll work on this thing in the morning, head up, do some flying, come on back, do a little more work. So anyway, all right, so this, I had to come in because, and you can still see the gap narrows. It's better, it's closer. I just got to do a little bit more sanding. This side's pretty good. It kind of flares out at the tip, but that was what the original builder did. I don't know if I want to fix that or just leave it the way it is. I'll probably just leave it. But this, you could see how big of a piece I had to add in. So it took me probably 20 minutes to rip down a piece of spruce with that, and then put it on the sander and get it to the point where I figured it was, oops, sorry about that, where it was okay to go ahead and put it on. This piece was all sanded down. That was the spruce I had to glue in place and put down. Had to put a little teeny bit of balsa up on the tip. So that'll all get firmed up when I come in and use nitrate dope, which I'm kind of hoping it's going to be within about 2 weeks. I'll be doing the nitrate dope, and then the very next time I work on it, I'll start covering. So these pieces here, some of them stand proud, some of them drop. This one drops a little bit. This one's got a nice little chunk taken out of it. I haven't decided if I want to take the time to level this off. I shouldn't worry about it, but I probably will. Haven't decided yet. I don't know if I want to take the time to do that. These things, there's a couple. There's one little piece right here. If you look from this angle, it's about a 32nd, so I'll probably put a thin piece of balsa in, glue it down, sand it off. These little pieces in here, I just wish the guy didn't do such a poor job, if you see from one side to the other. And I don't want to cut that out, so I might just use fill in here. This spot here is going to get a wedge of balsa, because you can see how much that is. So I'll do that and then just kind of sand it down. It doesn't have to look as pretty as I'd like it to look, just as long as it flies well. What I'm probably going to do, because the more I sand this, the rougher it gets, I'm going to do one little, this is the dry decks on here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do one quick little sand off on this one. I'm going to mix up a batch of nitrate dope, saturate this part here, so that way when I sand it, it's not going to keep kicking the fuzz up, because that's just going to keep doing that. So that's, I mean, I've got just a lot of little stuff, and seeing that I got the good filler, now it's time to jump in on it. I haven't, I gotta make a little patch for that. I haven't made a final decision yet on the doors, but this is, as of right now, this is what I think I'm gonna do, because when I was up talking to Gino, he's put in a call. We're trying to find out what the tag is that was on the front part of the aircraft. This little tag in the middle, we don't know what it was. We don't even think it looked like that. It was a white little rondelle with something that looked like a triangle in it, and it's in one of my videos. We don't know what it is. He's making a call. He's making a call to some people he knows that have been in the business for, you know, decades and decades, that may know what that is. So that'd be awesome. I mean, if I could find out what that is, I can have it reproduced, because I know people. All right. Anyway, what I think I've decided to do, and if I had my little piece of plastic down here, I'd show you. What they did in real life with these things is that it was one piece of plastic that went across the front of this, and it was almost like a strip of whatever kind of material it was. It was probably aluminum that screwed into here that held the plastic up against this, and then they put sorry about this, they put aluminum strip around the outside of it, and that actually acts as like a little door. So a little door, so it's going to stand proud off the front, and that's when it shuts. That's where the air is going to go across the joint. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take, I got 30 thousandths PET G plastic and 40 thousandths PET G plastic. The 40 thousandths is designed for this. I do have enough for 2 of these, so that I ordered enough, so if I screw one up, I can do another one. So right now my plan is to do this first, and then when this is done, what's left over, with hopefully there will be something left over, I'll have enough to do the doors. I think I'm going to do the doors and the PET and the 40 thousandths as well. And this is going to be covered, so it'll be one sheet across the front of this thing, and it's probably going to come about a 1/4 inch over the edge on the top all the way down around to the bottom, not on this side. And so what's going to happen when this door goes in, get away from me, B. When this door goes in and it shuts, it's going to come up against the side of the fuselage and stop right there. Sorry about that. I got Yellow Jacket buzzing in my ear. So anyway, so that's what I think I'm going to do with the doors. It was pretty much how they were made back then, and when you look at any pictures you can see of Margaret's plane, that's what it looks like. And it looks like it was just a piece of aluminum strip across the outside of it, which was painted orange like the plane, and then the black stripe that came down the side kind of crossed over it. So I'm going to do the same thing with these, but what I'm going to do is, once these doors get, because I'm going to paint the frame orange. Now I'll probably paint it orange. I could paint it gray like the rest of this, where I paint the inside gray. I may just paint the doors orange just because it's going to be easier. Then I'll put the plastic on it, glue it on, run some screws in it, just so you know everything's gonna stay in place regardless. Plus it's gonna look neat. Then I'm gonna tape it, spray it orange on the outside, so when I pull the covering off on this, it's going to be clear with the painted orange around the outside, so it looks just like the real one did. And then before, of course, I take all the plastic off the wings, what I'll do is I'll put these in and then tape everything for the stripe, for the black stripe. Go ahead and spray everything down. Then I can take these plastic glass covers off and the doors will be done. So there's still a lot of stuff to do and a lot of thinking, but I'm trying to do this as quick and painlessly as on myself as possible. So stupid rocks. So anyway, I think I've had about enough for today. I think it's time to go upstairs and just call it a day. It's been a long day. So, and the mosquitoes are starting to bite. So anyway, we're getting closer. Tomorrow is going to be, because I kind of got this ready to go. I'll just come in. I'll do this in the morning. You'll see it. I'll wake you up. So I'll get this all taken care of. This is going to be done later on, but I'm just using this right now, so that way we know that once it's set up, it's going to pretty much be, even though it's a push-pull, it's acting just like a pull-pull. So that's going to be awesome. So anyway, all right. See you in the morning. Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Once again, we're working outside, aka the pit. So, bring it on, Skeeters, bring it on. Even with that on, they're still going after me. Anyway, here's kind of sort of where I've gotten to in the last part. You didn't see from the last little clip that we edited into the video. I started putting this stuff in, and what I've been trying to do is figure out how to get the actual goldenrod tube set up nicely so that I'm getting better action where it's smoother. So where, as you can see, he originally had them set up side by side, it caused this one to bend back down, and you couldn't get the throw I wanted on it, because even though this is pulling up, this is pushing up, or I should say, this is pulling back, this is pushing out. So by moving that, I was able to get it to go a little bit farther, and you can see right there it hits the frame, and that's more than what I need anyway. So even if I brought it back so it just, you can just stop there, I'm probably going to come back and hog that out just a little bit on the bottom before it gets covered, just to give it a little bit more room. Just because I really don't want to have the servo bumping up against the frame when it's moving. I mean, it's not like it's gonna. It'll probably break the frame before it breaks the servo. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, because I've got to get things set up for the flying wires. The flying wires are going to go down through these holes. What I did was, because the hole was drilled out for 440, I had to come in. And I'm going to probably get this wrong, but I think it's a number 22 wire size drill bit. But you know what? I started with a 22, and went to, yeah, I started with a 22 and it wasn't big enough, so I went to a 21 because what I want to do, I've got these little slugs cut, and right now when they go down inside, they slide down inside there very nicely. The other ones I had to really try to force it. I put some glue in here, some thin CA to wick it in to get it into the actual the wood itself, into the grain, and I'm gonna have to come back in with the drill and cut down through to give me that little bit of extra space, because when I first had these things and drilled the holes, they just slid right through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hog these out a little bit, sand down a little bit on the outside of here to get some tooth, and it's going to slide those through. And we're going to do a test. I already put one in through the same size rod as this. So I put one through. I'm going to set this back up in a stand. I'm going to see what it's going to take to break it. And it's not break it this way, it's break it perpendicular to that going through. So let's see what happens, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw that video on the high speed, and you can listen to music, I can listen to music. So let's see what it takes. It does, I mean, it does weaken it, but that wasn't, that was just CA, and that was not, I didn't throw thin CA inside there, so we're just going for it. I've built all my other planes, setting them up like this through the wood, and I have yet to have a failure. Knock on wood. be some good editing. You probably missed a whole lot of that work because I didn't have it aimed at the right place. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just going around and just doing as much touch-up as possible on the elevator. I'm going to come in with the Drydex, the white spooge, the filler. I'm going to come in and put it on every seam all the way around the outside, just because you can see. I mean, even with all my little fills, I had to fill to make them level. There's just tons of little spots. So I'm going to come in, put some filler on it, and I still got some more grinding to do on this side. Put some filler on it because it's strong, it's glued together. It just looks like crap. So I apologize for saying crap. So what I will do, I'm just going to go ahead and get these things finished up, and we'll just kind of sort of take it from there, with the hopes that hey, there's a spider crawling up the lens, coming up towards it. So anyway, I'll bring it right back. Alright, we're just finishing up sanding these little nibs down. I just cut them off with the multi-tool. We're going to do this and end it, call it a day. Got a lot of stuff done today, not on the plane. Just on all the other little stuff that I have to keep pushing to the side for this monster. So we're almost done. And that's how that's going to go through. It's going to be a 440. It's going to go through, and this is either going to be for flying wires, it's either going to be for wires, or it's just going to be a rod going across. It's going to go from, I forgot to say in this one, or it's a rod that's just going to go from this corner up like that. It might be rod. I've done rods in the past. Rod works okay. It sets up a vibration just like a wire will, but the wire is lighter. So even though it sets up a vibration, it doesn't broadcast the vibration through the whole fuselage as bad as a solid strand, like some piano wire. So I may just go ahead and do what I've done on all my other planes. I've got some good stainless steel cable that I'll just go ahead and probably do it that way, because it's a little bit thicker. I got some good freebie stuff from a contractor. So anyway, this is what these come out looking like. So now it's just it's a piece of metal down inside, and that's going to go down. So now when you tighten these things up, you're not going to crush the wood because you're getting support on the aluminum tube. And all this flexibility will be gone once you get everything triangulated, boxed in. So it's going to come from down here on the bottom. I might make the anchor point for this piece, I may make it through the same bolt that you hold the landing gear up on. I'll just take a piece of aluminum, put a little aluminum wedge down here with some holes through it to bring it up. That'll be fine, because this does sit pretty far proud. I could put it here if I wanted to. I'll get some pictures and see if I can see anything on how the real ones have them set up, whether it comes farther back to balance out everything with the way this is pulling, or if it does just run it straight across. So I'll do that. Even though I pulled all this out to unhook the elevator, I'm probably going to come in here with a piece of light ply. And I got to figure out, and here's where it's going to take a little bit of time, I need to figure out how the wires, the flying wires, or the cables that are going to come out to the rudder. I'm going to have it, used to have the clamp up high. I'm probably going to lower it down to put a block in here. I'll put a triangle stock block in here. And then I'm going to use those Dubro. It's going to come across here. And what's going to happen is somewhere when it comes from the front to the back, it's going to have to cross over. And this is where it's going to get goofy. Because with this little teeny opening I've got to work with, I can't really put it farther up here. I possibly could put it up here, but the angle that it's going to want to come out, it's going to be too steep. So I may have to come from here and figure out how to make it work down in here and cross them. So there's going to be a crisscross. So what's going to connect to the one on this side is the one that's going to connect to that side of the front of the plane, whereas the part the cable is going to connect on this side is going to connect to the horn on the other side of the plane. So it's going to be strange, but that's where I've got to get my I've got to order the servo horns, so I'm going to have to drop some coin on those things. I'll probably do that tonight, just so I can get them in here, because it's got to be done. So anyway, I'll be back down here in the morning, and of course you'll be back down here in the morning. I got a couple other little things to do. I repaired one of the flying wires on the back of the Taylorcraft, the Taylorcraft, my gosh, got that plane in my mind. I had to repair one of the flying wires on the back of the Cub, and today I was flying it and realized that one on the bottom, on the opposite side, the cable snapped, which I wasn't expecting, but you know, it's nothing hurt. I landed it, it was fine, but that's something else I'm not going to do now. I can wait till that could be an evening project. That'll take about an hour. So yeah, anyway, I'll be back down in the shop. I'll bring you in. I got to figure out what to do. Got to work tomorrow, so I got a few hours. I'll burn away in the morning, and then a couple in the evening. So, see you tomorrow.